Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening in Nigeria, wherever you are. Good morning from Canada here. It's 11 a.m. here. You guys in Nigeria, you're 7 hours ahead of us, and we have no problem with that. Just that if anything is going to happen, it's going to happen starting from Nigeria before it gets here. We take over. Thank you so much, Obayemi. Thank you, Donald. Thank you, Zomar. Divine, Amarachi, um, Linda, Bright, Victoria, Obi, Chidi, John, Samuel, Mabon, Anita, Stellar, and Badmus. We still have more people connecting. Um, we're just gonna get going. Um, Lots of changes. My name is Callistus Ekena. I'm an immigration consultant, licensed immigration consultant here in Canada, and we have an office here in um, in Manitoba, and we also have an office in Nigeria. Um, and lots of changes happening. Lots of changes happening. Unfolding, with the uh, application stream, especially with our student application stream. Lots of changes happening, um, uh, and with other areas as well, but starting with the school application. So we're going to be talking about that, and also responding to any question that you may have regarding student application. Um, okay. You can always, ask your question at the end. I will give you time to ask your question, or you can type it in. You can type it in our chat box, and we'll respond to that as they come along as well. Okay, so now if you're aware about what is going on, what has been going on, um, and if you've been part of this live session, I know we went on a break for a couple of months. Before we went on break, we were having this live session. I've hinted about public opinion, about the number of word processing that are coming to Canada as a for studies, and um, we talked about how high the number has been. And then the wave started from UK. You know what UK did, and you had what Australia did, and you had what US did in terms of regulating the flow of people coming into their countries for studies. Specifically with UK, they did mention that if you're coming to study in UK, you no longer can bring your relatives, except if your program is a master's program or a PhD program. So if you're going there for a diploma program, any of those programs, you cannot. But coming to Canada, I think that was exactly what happened. Exactly, with restricting the number of people relative that can come with you for studies. Okay. Now, there was a gazette. All the news that we've been hearing, all the um, all the release that we've been hearing. I think it was solidly solidified, and it's actually released today. Let me say today, February 3rd. It was a Canada Gazette, Part 1, Volume 158, was released um, by the government, and it serves as a notice to the new guideline on how to apply. Um, okay, so part of the Gazette now it talks about foreign foreign nationals. Foreigners are those who are coming in as students, those who are coming in as based on work permit, those who are visitors, um, those who are coming on tourism, different kind of stream. But so far, you are not a permanent resident. You're not a Canadian citizen, and you're not a First Nation here, and you're not a stateless person. You are a foreign national. So for foreign national coming to Canada to study, this instruction applies to every one of them. And what that means is that you have to get um, a letter from your province. It's called provincial attestation letter. If you're coming to study, you have to get a provincial attestation letter, which means a letter written and signed by your provincial or territorial government, confirming that you, the applicant, okay, confirming that you, the applicant, has a space within the provincial or territorial jurisdiction. Allocation. Now there's an allocation for each province, okay, when it comes to studies. So the idea where one province will have 40% of the international students, while another province has maybe 5% of international students. That is not creating diversity. So there is a provincial and territorial allocation of study permit application. So that letter seeks to confirm, that provincial attestation seeks to confirm that yes, there's space for your there's a location space for you. And within that letter, it will have your full name, your date of birth, and address. Your full name, your date of birth, and address. And that confirms that you're the one. And you will need that, whoever. Now, I'm putting this across because for those that want to proceed on their own to process for themselves, you need that to actually process your study permit. And so if you have submitted your study permit already before January 22nd, 2024, this regulation does not apply to you. If your application is already in play, this does not apply to you. But if you've not submitted your application, beginning from January 22nd, this regulation applies to you. Okay, it comes into effect January 22nd. Now, there are other provisions that covers international students application when it comes to study permit. There are other rules that apply to them. For study permit when it comes to regulation 215, regulation 215A, 215B, all those kind of a thing that applies to international. Those things are still there. Those things are still existing. I know there were some changes that happened with proof of fund, which we all know happened last year. It started December 1st, where you have to the proof of fund for living expenses was doubled by 100%. So from $10,000 Canadian dollars to 20,000 Canadian dollars as a living expenses. Um, like I said, other regulations still exist. So what we have now is an addition to what has been in existence. It's an addition. Now, and I need you to look at these changes in a good way. Okay, look at it in a good way. In a way where if you come here as a student to study, you want to be able to come here, you want to be able to get your admission, and knowing that the admission you have is legit. Knowing that when you arrive here, you will get the support that you need. Knowing that when you get here, the process will be what you claim to be. Um, you all know that for international students, they pay higher school fees compared to regular Canadian students. And that's okay. Okay. Now, both the Canadians and the international students, they all converge in the same classroom. They all attend the same classroom, do the same assignment, do all those kind of things. But now, what the question now is this: for you as an international student, you've paid 3 to 4 times more than what the Canadians are paying. What extra support do you get for that? What extra support do you get? Do you get support with your housing? Do you get support with navigating the system? Do you get support with in case your study permits involve working? Do you get support with that? So these are some of the things that also matters to international students. And you don't want to say, "Oh, I just want to get here," and no, it matters to you. It matters to you because and those are some of the things that also the government is trying to straighten out. They're trying to straighten that out. They're trying to make sure that students that come here, they get served and they get served for good. Okay. So as a result of that as well, I think you're aware, um, as government is trying to figure out how to really, position international studies here in Canada, they've also slashed the percentage that they previously marked for this year and next year. Okay. They slashed it, they reduced it, just so that they figure out what is going on. But at the heart of all this is also the housing issue, the fake admission issues that are going on, where people get admission letters, and by the time they get here, probably the admission happened to be fake. And also for them switching to a different school, not regularizing that, and not getting extra support within the school. And you could find there are some students who are struggling. They come here, they struggle. They struggle to focus in their academics. They struggle to pass their classes. And when you struggle, when you fail, when you don't pass, it's a problem for you. It's a huge problem. Okay. So these are all happening. There's lots of information flying around about whatever. I think the context is very, very important. The context is very, very important for us to understand what the government is doing. Yes, some of these things happen while UK, Australia, US, other countries were trying to tighten up. Um, but Canadian situation is very unique. It's very unique to Canada. The only thing I would say that was kind of copied, or not really use the word copy, but like were done almost the same way, was this idea that if you're not doing a PhD program, you're not taking PhD program or a master's program, you cannot come to your family member. Mute, please. Okay, thanks. Um, so that's the changes that have been happening, and like one other thing that you need to keep in mind is that with international students, you still want to prove that when you come here, you're able to accomplish your academic goals as stated in your intent. You're able to accomplish those goals while you're still a student, and you're able to navigate from there to a job setting for you, whether from where you're coming from or here, however that will make sense for you. But to navigate that, and able to get the support that you need. So those are really key changes that I wanted to summarize for you guys to at least know the background, know what is going on. Um, and we've had lots of housing crisis here. What about if a school that want to admit students? What about if they have accommodation for students? You know, how would that help with student integration and adjustment. You know, imagine if you're a student and you're coming and you don't have someone that could help you to secure accommodation here, or you don't have someone that that you can stay with until you get accommodation. Um, how are you going to do it? Okay. Um, so these are real issues, and we don't want to say, okay, I want to face it before I realize that this is an issue. It is an issue, and I'm glad that the government is trying to resolve it. The government is not saying that students are not coming. It's not shutting down, student application. No, that's not the point. That's not the point. In fact, I think in a way, this will help diversify diversify the population, the student population. It will help diversify across Canada. Canada is a huge country. Okay, Canada is a huge country, and part of the immigration system is to see that the population is also decentralized. Okay, maybe a good example, like we have Lagos, which used to be a capital city. There were some reasons why the federal government gave a reason to say, okay, yeah, I think this we need to move to a different capital city. It's not bad for us to create two big cities, but to also decongest in a way. Um, but what the system is trying to do here, not just to create two big cities, but they're trying to also decentralize to smaller places, because whatever services, whatever facilities you can get in, say, Toronto, you can get it in Manitoba, where I am now, in the city of Brandon. You could get it in a place like Saskatchewan, like Regina or Yorkton. Yorkton could be a place where you have about 1,500 people, or you could get the same facilities there. You could get it in any park in Nunavut. You could get it in Alberta. If you go to smaller places. So to decentralize it that way, to create that diversity, and Canada, rightly so, is the most diversified country in the whole world, and it wants to maintain that status. Yeah. So I think I'm going to stop now. Emmanuel, do we have? Let me know when we have the trainer join us. Um, Hello, hello.
Yes, yes, very true.
Okay. Um, so I'm going to open it up so that I don't be the one talking. Even if I keep talking for another 1 hour, I may not be able to respond to any specific question that you may have. So I'll open it up now for question from anyone, any question that you have regarding study, international study permit. Uh, please ask.
Okay,
You
I
can
have a question.
please go ahead.
Okay, about the attestation letter.
Mhm.
Whose responsibility is it? Is it the school that will get it across to the students, or the student will have to apply for it from the province?
Okay, so that's a very good question. Like I said, the regulation guiding this pronouncement that was made last month, January, the pronouncement that was made last month, January, the guiding regulation was just released. In fact, the Gazette is reading February 3rd, which is today, but it was released yesterday. Um, and then we're able to now know exactly some of the ingredients that will apply. So what we're looking at, it looks like, is the school um, that will have to liaise with the province, and the province will probably have someone delegated to do that. that will be providing this attestation. So every school will be able to, through the provincial rep, verify, get that attestation on behalf of their students, because it will be cumbersome for each student to be doing that, especially considering your locations and boundary differences. Yeah. So, and that's why if some of you that have gotten emails regarding if you've gotten admission, uh, like in the province of Manitoba, may have issued you like a notice that you hold on, we're working on this provincial attestation later. So it will go that way, and they're trying to figure it out how this will work. And they say, okay, we're going to get back to you from before March this year. So there's a structure that needs to be created remotely to avoid um, any delays and huge bureaucracies.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Good evening. I have a question too.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. The new guideline also states that just spouses of those studying masters and PhD, right? So I wanted to know, when they say masters, is PGD inclusive, or it's just strictly masters, no postgraduate degree?
Um,
Okay, thank you.
so I have a question on the chat, and it's saying, and is this, as my agent, are you the one who will apply for my attestation or me? Um, like I said, shortly the guideline will be out. Okay, the guideline will be out. My assumption will be the school. Okay, but just wait before within this week, within this month, we'll get clarity on that. In what way does this new regulation of not being able to bring in family members or spouses? Sorry, I'm not sure what the question. In what way does this new regulation of not being able to bring in family members or spouses? In what way? So, sorry, if you could explain your question. Sam, I'm not sure what you're getting at. Hello?
Okay, I have a question relating to that. Okay, I understand. I think you just answered the lady now that asks if that affects if that also include PGD and all of that. So you've answered. So my question would be, but after their program, will they be able to now bring in their spouses?
Yeah.
Or their family members after their program? For instance, someone coming for BSc or PGD or any program outside that is not masters and PhD or PhD. So after his or her program, will he or she be able to bring in a family member or family members?
Okay, so like I said earlier, this regulation is in addition to what is already in existence. Okay, so the only thing is that it kind of remove some aspect of that. Now, if you're a student here, you still have the right to ask your relative to come and visit you, or to come attend your graduation. You still have the right for that to happen. So every individual have that right, to happen. Now, what this is saying, how you can bring your family and say your spouse will then have an open work permit, that's essentially what is going away.
Sorry.
Okay, understand.
Okay.
No, go ahead, Victoria.
Okay. I don't think um you could correct me though. I don't think that secular said that you cannot bring in your spouse. Did it say that? I thought it meant they will not just be given an open work permit, not that they cannot come along. So my
That's
question
what
is,
he
if
just
I am
explained.
correct, okay, okay, because he
Mm.
was saying visiting. I'm saying if you want to
No,
bring your dependent along now, it's not visiting.
no, he said they won't be given an open work permit.
Okay, so in
Your
that case,
spouse
when
will
would they
not
give
be
you?
given.
Did you
Sorry?
get my question, sir?
No.
What
No,
would they give them?
visiting visa.
Really? Oh, okay.
That's huge.
Well, so,
That's tough.
so,
That means that the students will have to be responsible for their stay for as long
Mm,
as they stay there.
mhm.
okay.
Yeah. So, Victoria, what was your impression? I don't know. I want to understand what you were saying.
I just the way I understood it was they do not give them like an open work permit, but they can
Mhm.
come in with you. The same way you're saying you're bringing in your dependent. I'm not saying like on a visiting visa now. You're coming, your dependents are coming. It's just that they're not going to be allowed to work. So, but when you say visiting, it means like they are coming and they are going back.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. That they can come. There's nothing stopping. They can come as visitors. That will be the status. Their status.
Okay, it's understood now. Thanks.
Mhm.
Okay, good evening,
Then,
everyone.
yeah, evening.
Okay. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted with something, so I didn't really type the full question, but I thought I think somebody actually asked the question I wanted to ask. Okay, and you've already clarified that. But on the flip side, I want to ask a question based on what Victoria said now. It popped up a question in my head, which is now from the clarification you gave, your family member or members or spouse is only allowed to visit. Does that status remain like that, like forever, or it could change? Okay, say visit, they are not allowed to work, they're only allowed to come and stay for a specific period of time and go back to their own country, right? Now, will that status change if that student eventually gets his or her permanent residence? I don't know if
Okay.
you
So
get the question.
yeah, I get, but I want to kind of disentangle them. It's kind of entangled together. Now every application. Now look at it this way. I normally say this: there are more than 60 ways, 60 pathways to come to Canada. And look at those pathways. Look at them as pillars. They're all pillars. They're all pillarized. So each of that pillar, they all have their own specific requirement. Specific requirement. Now, if you're talking about permanent resident, whatever pathway that leads you to that permanent residence, any type of permanent automatically includes your dependent. That includes if you're married, your spouse, and your children. That means as soon as the applicant is issued a permanent residence, the person's spouse is going to be issued a permanent residence, and the children or adopted will be issued permanent residence. And that's what that is. So if you as a student and you eventually want to be a permanent resident, as you're completing your application as a permanent residency, you're including your spouse and your children, whether they're in Canada or not. And as soon as you've been granted and issued the permanent residence, the ones not here as well will be issued the same thing. I don't know if that responds to your
Yeah,
question.
it's clear. It's clear now. It's clear. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I think I'll go to the chat box. Divine says, my question is, when is the class for Abuja branch for IELTS going to commence so that we can fully be prepared for the exam coming up soon? We are working on that for that class. Yes, we're starting a IELTS class in our Abuja office, and then so that we want to be able to register people that want to register for IELTS. We also want to be able to register people, help them register for WES. If you can do this on your own, um, you, I mean, it's completely good that happened, and but it's just to help out as well. So there's an instructor that we're talking with, and once that is completed, we'll make that announcement. And when are we expecting material for the upcoming exams? So that is also part of what I've said. Now, talking about the materials, we do have virtual materials that we can provide for you. But the only thing is that if we do that for you right now, we do not have a support tutor that will be attached with you, that will provide you some question responses and clarification regarding the study materials. And that's why we really need this class, so that you will be there virtually or in person, and to be able to get responses to any question that you may have. Also, how long will the materials last in the system before disappearing? So if we give you the material, it lasts for 60 days. That's 2 months. From the date you logged in, you sign up for it. We'll give you the login details and the password. Once you log in, from the date, 60 days it lasts.
Sorry, if I may ask, the material you're talking about, or rather the person talked about, is it a material for the IELTS and WES preparatory class?
Is for IELTS. There's no preparation for WES. WES is
I'm sorry for we result this thing for IELTS. Sorry, I meant.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Fabini.
Sorry, I have so many questions to ask. Firstly, when we started this meeting, you spoke about if one is running a master's program or a PhD program, that's they are excluded in bringing their the spouse or their dependents. Does this apply to Canada too? That's one. Secondly, is it possible to use I have NC, that's my studied physics maths at NC level, and I have my BSc in sociology. Is it possible to run a master's in education? And thirdly is these what's it called? Sorry, bringing in spouse in Canada too. Is it now like if you're running a master's or a PhD program, it doesn't affect? Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you get
So
that?
yes, is that all?
Yes, for now.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Fabami. So yes. So the last question you asked, if does not affect masters and PhD, yes, it does not. So if you're coming, and this is where, okay, let me explain this too. Um, Now, that situation, one other situation that we're facing is where, we have these traditional schools. We have University of Toronto, University of McGill University, um, British Columbia. Like we have these universities, Queen's University, most of these universities, Waterloo, like mentioned, there are so many, Halifax. They've been there in the system, some of them more than 100 years, okay? And they've been doing their things, running programs and things like that, okay? And they have their standard, they have their requirement. And if you're not there, if you don't meet their requirement, you're not getting the admission. Okay. When I applied for my master's program at U of M, University of Manitoba here, they have their standard. I actually met their standard, but I was at that threshold. Um, I was at that threshold. So then they have to refer my file, my application file, to equity committee. There's an equity committee. Again, keep in mind, Canada always want to diversify. They referred it to equity committee because they looked at the complexities of people they're admitting, and they needed someone that looked like me. But then I was at that threshold, so they needed to talk to me through an interview. So right. So they invited me. So it was after the interview, things were clarified and they admitted me. Now, they don't lower their standard. The standard is a standard. Then come along the private ones. You have private who rightly, they want to deliver education, but they also, it's a business for them as well. And they're willing to lower some things. And then sometimes what happens sometimes is that, okay, when they lower it, they get affiliated with some of these traditional schools, and it becomes so complex and so messed up and things like that. Um, so now most of the private schools don't do PhDs and masters. So that is still with the traditional schools. And that's why the government, they're still untouchable. You don't want to touch them because they are there. They have the reputation. So yeah, so if you're coming for masters, if you're coming for PhD, this rule does not apply to those, even including coming with your spouse, coming with relative, does not apply to those. Um, just answering your question. And Yeah, and then your second question about NCE and BSc, I'm not able to completely respond to that. I mean, with bachelor degree, you can do your master's, okay? But again, it's individualized because there are so many questions that I will need to ask you personally that I may not want to ask you here in the public forum. So yeah, so there are a few more information that we may need to conclusively say, okay, yes, it's possible. But if you have your bachelor degree in good standing, then you should be able to get a master's degree program. And then your third question, you talked about PhD and masters. Um, so I think it's kind of connected to your last question. Yeah.
Yes, it's connected. Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Callistus.
Yeah. Good evening. Sorry, what's your name, please?
Adesua.
Oh, this was sorry. I was saying iPhone there.
I don't know
So
why it's showing phone.
yeah. Okay, I just want to go ahead, please.
Okay. Sorry, please. I have a lot of questions, but at least let me start from somewhere. Okay, like now, I want to ask about the school that gave me admission. Because when I saw something about British Columbia, something about maybe they banned them from giving out admissions. I don't know. I don't really understand. But I just want to ask, hope it's not going to affect we people that they've given out admission.
Okay, noted. I will respond to that. Do you have another question?
Yes. And I don't know, maybe it has come to your notice. I've made their payment yesterday.
Yeah. So we're dealing with your Mara. So if there's anything related to your Mara, I think we'll have to deal with that off this public forum.
Okay.
But if that's like the question you asked about whether anything is banned or not, not really. Like I said earlier, what the government is rolling out is like a corrective measures and making
Okay.
sure that the system is sanitized, not
Okay.
really going against anybody or any institution, and to make sure that the programs and the education system is positioned in such a way that the country, Canada, will be able to benefit, economically, and also that the students are well supported while here.
Okay.
So nobody's banning anybody yet that I know of, and yes.
Okay.
And in the midst of all this happening, there's a lot of information on the social media. Even for some of the people that live here in Canada, there's a lot of misinformation. And there are some groups I belong and they post things like, and I'm like, where is this information coming from? And the information are so not accurate that I don't there's it's even hard for me to begin to correct them because they're so far off. They're so far off for me to even like, okay, this is wrong, okay, but this is, then going back and forth, which sometimes does not make sense. So yeah. Now one thing you need to keep in mind is that there's a jurisdiction here. The federal government, the federal have their own jurisdiction when it comes to immigration, and the province also have their own jurisdiction when it comes to immigration. Now, what the federal government is also trying to do now is to push the provincial government and the territorial government, to do their own part, okay, to do their own part from this provincial attestation, to do their own part and also do it in line with, how much, I mean, if you're a province that can accommodate, say, 30,000 students and you're bringing 100,000 students, what is your plan? Federal government is not there. You are the province. You make that decision. You make that decision through students program. You make that decision through provincial nominee program. You make those decisions, but your decision needs to be based on something that is there, based on infrastructure. Okay, and I don't know if some of you know. I think what even some of you know there was a demonstration by some international students in Ontario, and that was really embarrassing for the government to watch that. So yeah, sorry. Question. I have a question here. Ruben is asking, what if I have a certificate on caregiving? Will you help get a job? Okay, I really didn't want to talk about job today. So that's a different topic altogether. But I'll answer this. But I just want to focus on studies, please. But I will respond to your question, Sandra. Um, um, it's, okay. So your question is not a simple yes or no answer. It's not a yes or no answer. Um, there's a lot at play. That could I Sandra, could we have a WhatsApp call, please? And we could talk more on this so that I wouldn't want to take the time off for so many other people that want to ask questions. regarding the topic of the day. So we could talk one-on-one. I'll note it here. Um, Emmanuel, just get her number and so that we can talk.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir. Okay, Mr. Callistus, I actually also have a question, but I think it's more personal, so I wouldn't want to ask it here.
Okay, so Samuel.
Would that be fine if I private chat you?
Emmanuel, so I have Sandra and Samuel. So
Okay,
we'll
sir.
have a phone call.
I will drop the number they are supposed to text. I'll drop it in the chat so they can message.
I mean, not really. I want us to have a group WhatsApp call, which Emmanuel can.
Mr. Callistus, good evening. Yeah, I equally have a personal question to ask too. Please, I should be included in the WhatsApp message.
Don't want to be stressed. Okay. I have a question on the group chat. I don't know what it is. Please, if your student application, what do you do? Student application, is it like a application? For carbon, your money is I think you've emailed the school. You've emailed the school. Let's wait for the response. After the response, the school is not actually far from where our office is here. And we have a good working relationship with the school. So let's wait for the response from them, and then we can approach the school face to face. We can approach the school face to face. Mr. Bright said, good evening, sir. Sorry, I came in late, but from the point I joined, I just want to ask this. As a graduate of mechanical engineering, I desire to go for master studies in cyber security science. What are the criteria or eligibility? Okay, I wouldn't be going into those specific right now. I think this is more individualized. So if you want to maybe get a consultation going, that will help. Mr. Bright. So Emmanuel, this number here, is it for who?
Yes, sir. There's no way I can get their number from here, so that's why I posted the number they should message. So
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. All right. Any more question?
I have a question.
Sorry, please go ahead.
Mr. Callistus, when are we talking?
Okay, I need to yes, I missed the call terribly. Let me get my calendar here. I need to complete this place. Okay, so how about tomorrow? How about tomorrow at 7 p.m. your time?
That's fine with me.
Yeah, I have it in my calendar. I'll give you a call.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello? Sir, please don't forget the other room that you said talk about my own. Adesua.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
any more question before I say I have a question I'm not willing to share here. Can we talk? Okay, sure. Okay, Mabon, I have you here. Okay. All right. Now just Emmanuel, did Petrina join us?
Let me check.
Hello, Petrina, are you here? Is she here? She's not? Okay, so we have um an integration specialist that we work with. Her name is Petrina. She was supposed to join us. And also they have some aspect to what is going on that I wanted her to share with you guys. Um, but she let me know that she had a training that she was conducting for people, for newcomers, and it was going to be happening almost this time that we're having this session. But she will try her best to see if she will join. So I think she's not able to make it out. But definitely next time we're going to meet. From time to time, I will be bringing someone that will be also speaking to some aspect of things here. Again, the goal is to get you the information as much as possible, because again on social media there's a lot happening there, there's a lot of misinformation happening there, so that you know better and you do better, and you can share this information with your family, with your friends, neighbors, and and also they can join us as well. So we're gonna now uh, keep this going again. We had a little bit of break and to reorganize a few things, and we're good to go. Um, and if you're not with us on Instagram, we have an Instagram page. Same name, Blue Knot Immigration, one word, Blue Knot Immigration. When Instagram, please join us there. We do post credible information there that you also can benefit from. Um, so one more thing, again, some of these things keep changing. I believe that within this month, we'll not wait till the end of this month before we have our next session, because I know there will be new development before the end of this month. So why not schedule our next we'd like to do it once a month, but because this is a busy time and there's a lot happening, so I'll need us to schedule another one, maybe the 24th of this month. Would that
It's
work for
fine
everyone?
that way. 24th is fine.
That would
So
be nice, sir. That would be
That'll
nice.
be on a Saturday. That'll be nice.
okay, so we'll have another one on the 20th, and I'll get someone around. Maybe that one will be spending a little bit, an hour, 30 minutes, um, because of maybe one guest that we're going to have around. And also, I have a lecture. Sorry, she's a lecturer, but also she's like a dean of a faculty, a very good friend. I wanted her to come around as well to speak to some few specific area which we've talked about. The only issue with her is that she doesn't want to be recorded because she's in a position of authority, and there are things that she would like to share that we don't want to be recorded, and it's It's about confidentiality and other things as well. So we'll see how that goes if that end up working out. Any last comments? If nobody want to say anything, I'm going to point. Last comments.
Okay, so far so good, sir. Personally, you've cleared the air on a couple of questions and worries, and I think for me, I'm practically okay and satisfied with everything you've said. And for the new developments and other regulations that are still coming up and every other thing, plus the new person you're inviting to actually also speak with us, even though it's not been confirmed 100% yet. I want to say thank you for the effort and the time you're putting out there to make this happen and to bring forth all these clarifications, because at the point in time, I can speak for myself, but I know a couple of persons too might have been worried looking at the new policies they've been rolling out recently, but so far so good. You've done justice to these worries, except for the personal questions one or two persons actually need to ask you. Aside that, for me, everything is fine. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for everything. God bless you, sir.
Um, Bless you. Thank you so much, Samuel. And I want to especially thank even in our WhatsApp group. I want to really thank Anita. Um, you know, she's been with us, for a long time, and we've been doing things together. And she really has clear understanding about what is happening here. And reading her comment on the WhatsApp, and that's really what it is. Sometimes, um, I was in Nigeria December, January, and I see what brothers and sisters are going through in that country. And the country is a beautiful place. It's only when you leave the country that you know that you miss it in a way. Um, but then I do tell people when I was there, 4, 5, 6 weeks, I'm like, where is the next flight? So I see what everyone is going through. Um, and I see sometimes the urgency, the desperation to want to do what needs to happen quickly. But what I want to encourage is that, because it's that sometimes that urgency and desperation that leads us into the wrong path, doing the making mistake or running into the wrong hands. Please try not to do that. Try not to do that. And I see there's always an urge to want to do it. I get it. I get it. It's a sacrifice for some patience, and with Canada, there's always a patience. It's a process. It can't go around it. It's not possible. It's a cycle. When the cycle comes, it comes. Okay. So I just wanted to make that clarification and thank Anita for your understanding, and and just pretty here because the doctor as well.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead, Mabon.
Okay, I want to ask you, like in my own case now. So, the is, does it mean that this new law now will be applicable to me?
Yes, yes.
So, I actually, when I joined, in fact, I'm still on the road. I went out. You were saying something about date of birth, your name, date of birth, and something. I didn't really hear it because I was on the road. And I said, no, it's sorry. Can you help me rephrase that? What are you talking about there? You're saying the new law has something to do with date of birth, your name.
No, I
What
was
was that
talking about
about?
the no, I was talking about the provincial attestation letter.
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking about the provincial attestation letter and your details that need to be included that will be included in that letter. That's your name, yeah, your name, your address, and your date of birth. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Um,
All right.
mm.
I don't think I don't think Dr. Obi is there. So okay. So without not in any particular order, I want to thank Emmanuel. He's the office manager and really great, wonderful. Thank you so much. I want to thank Imabon, Anita, Blessing, Chidi, Divine, Nebere, Emmanuel, Okoye, Fabwemi, Frank, Lesua, two iPhones, John, Kiki, Linda, Mabel, Mosu, Okechi, Miriam, and Dr. Obi, Opayemi, Ozioma, Raymond, Jeff Davis, Ruben, Samuel, Stella, and Udochukwu Bright. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. And
Thank you, sir.
for sharing your time. And so, like I said, next time we'll get one person that will be here to will share some information, useful information. I know very well that I know very well I know there'll be an update for you guys on the 24th. There'll be good updates that we're going to be providing and then streamline things for you so that you kind of see it clear away from the noise that's going on. Okay. And have a wonderful weekend and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye
Thank
for
you,
now.
Mr. Kalista, for the time.
We'll be
I'm
expecting.
waiting
Thank
for
you, sir.
the group.
Thank you. We
I have
appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
to have
Thank you.
expectations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. God bless.
Bless
Okay,
you
so
too.
how are we supposed to reach out to you for the personal question, sir?
The number you have to message is in the group chat. Check the
The
video
group
chat.
chat has a number.
There's a number there.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Mr.
Bless
Callistus.
yeah, bless you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Evening.
My name is Faith, please.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm good.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Amen. Yeah, I spoke with you last year when we met in the flight.
Oh, Faith.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, from UK.
From UK, please.
When I was heading to Nigeria.
To Nigeria, yes.
Yeah, experience in Nigeria.
Oh, beautiful. I think she enjoyed herself.
Enjoyed it. Oh, that's good. That's awesome. And you?
I'm
Did you go,
good.
apart from Lagos, did you visit other part of Nigeria?
Yeah, I went to Port Harcourt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my own village again, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah. Nice to
So
connect
we had a
again.
good time over there. We had a good time anyway. You know, it's
Yeah.
always fun when you meet with your family.
Yes, yes, it is. It is. Yeah, I enjoyed my time too over there. I was in Lagos, Abuja, Asaba,
All
um,
over the places.
where the village, the village. I was just eating all kind of stuff. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then there was a time that sometimes I would have some stomach upset. Then I would just get something and I just take, and then it would shut up, and then I'll continue.
Oh, bless you.
But I enjoyed it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the enjoyment of the village. Mm.
yeah.
Mhm.
So we need.
So I've been calling and I rang your office, the one in Abuja.
Mhm.
So I think the manager over there asked me to join the Zoom link today.
Okay.
Mm. Although I came in late, but I think it has ended by now.
It has ended. We ended. I'm just hanging out here before you
Mm.
call me. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So what was the discussion all about today?
We talked about international study route,
Okay.
study and applications.
Yeah.
The changes, basically, the changes that are going on. Uh,
Okay.
Everything still stays the same in most part, but some of the changes that are
All
happening.
right.
And then we schedule the 24th of this
Of
month.
this month. Because I asked
Yeah. By then,
my in-law to join. Okay, I think he's online. John.
oh, John, yeah.
Yeah, John.
Mhm.
I asked him to join the Zoom meeting for him to get some idea, and if there is any question he wants to put out there.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah. We kind of responded to all the questions. Um, uh, yeah, we kind of responded. I'm just checking this chat now. Yeah, we responded to all the questions. People asked questions. So yeah, I think the next one, I would even some of the information we provided today, I'm going to put them in a much more streamlined way so that people will um be able to connect with it. I
Okay.
wanted to connect with it because sometimes there's a way you look at the information about migration here, whether it's study permit or how it looks a little complex.
Yeah.
Um, or just to streamline it. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the one he's actually looking for is a resident working permit.
Okay. So let's talk. You can talk to the manager, and the manager will let you know how we can create a Zoom, and then let's so that we can you, John, and anyone else who could have one-on-one conversation.
All right. So is there need of him going to the office right now?
Does it resides in Abuja?
Yes, please.
Yeah, if he wants to, like most of the work we're doing is virtual, right? So except if he wants to go there um, to see us, we'll be more than happy to host him. But other than that, you could do it through virtual as well.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Okay.
you sent me your number, right?
Yeah, I sent you a number. I even sent you a message. I was just running after you all over the places. I was asked to call your Canadian line. Yeah. I've been disturbing the young man over there in Abuja. And the guy is so polite. He said, "Oh, I prefer you deal with him yourself because the way you mention his name, I think you know him better. So, uh, call on him, please. So if there's anything before I can step in." Mm.
Yeah.
And he said, "You have his international number." I said, "Yeah, okay, please call on him. Call on him first and have a word with him." Sort of good.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm scrolling here to check your name. Um, so you have that Canadian number, right? And I know I responded to your chat. You have that Canadian number, right?
Yeah, the one you gave to me.
Yes, could you text it?
Oh, la, 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 la. I can't get it right now.
Yeah,
But
whenever you get it, please text it so that we can chat, please.
all right, I'll do that. I'll do that. So right now, I just apologize to leave because I have other things to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're done. We're actually done.
And don't be surprised. We might be in Canada this year. Okay. Yeah, I might be coming down with my kids. Yeah, by God's grace.
That'd be awesome.
Okay.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. It would be nice to welcome you to Canada.
All right. Thank you.
That'd be awesome.